When asked numerous times about Adele Tomlin and her self-promoted website Dakini Translations and Publications, I must admit I have serious reservations about her motives, despite her exaggeration of her Tibetan lingual proficiency. I suggest she had better change her website name to Madam Hearsay Warped Interpretations and Publications. If anyone wishes to incorporate the use of a spiritual text into daily practice in hope of real spiritual progress, they should first question the source and the translator. Even though the newly translated or transcribed texts by Adele Tomlin appear to have originated from the Karmapa, she doesn't have any formal authorization from the Karmapa himself. Without this essential authorization, people using Adele Tomlin's texts can be certain that they are taking her as their guru, a Mara who pretends to follow the Karmapa. No formal authorization means she can freely modify, add, leave, distort the entire teachings. The most dangerous lies are not blatant lies, but rather lies mixed with partial truths. You can hardly separate the two. Doesn't it sound fishy no lineage master endorses her works? How could anyone ensure Adele Tomlin's perverted, twisted mind, laden with presumption of guilt, wouldn't corrupt her translation or transcription texts, as she believes lineage and root guru are irrelevant in spiritual progress, as evidenced by her indulgence in gossips, reporting unsubstantiated claims against many different Vajrayana lineage holders? Unless you have genuine faith in Adele Tomlin's motives, would you want to establish any karmic connection or become karmically indebted to her by using her free texts? Please, readers, go to official sources by the Karmapa himself for any transcriptions, translations, and teachings. Absorb powerful, authentic teachings without third-party fishy distortions and unforeseen karmic repercussions from getting entangled with Mara. Even though I don't know Adele Tomlin personally, I simply pay attention to any incongruencies in written texts to judge her trustworthiness. Having decades of experience in forensic criminal psychology, I can determine not only veracity of a story, but also uncover malicious intent besides serious psychological disorders. This technique is easy and can be applied by anyone with any background. All it takes is mindful practice and a willingness to trust your innate perceptiveness while dealing with incongruencies of any sorts in your life. Adele Tomlin came to my attention when she wrote a story about her sexual relationship with Sangye Nyenpa Rinpoche. The overall tone of her story is baselessly divisive. She twists readers' minds in warped logic only a pervert can condone. The story contains many loopholes if you look closer. For simplicity, I will only mention 3. First, she says Rinpoche is aggressively pursuing her sexually to the extent of swearing to Buddha and Tara that she is the only woman in his life, which she finally accepts. Do you notice how she implies that men beg to sleep with her? Now, as a woman, do you really accept any sexual pursuit merely for sworn words? As a man, do you need to beg and swear just to get laid? We are all reduced to sex-starved, incompetent thinkers, a condescending projection of her own truest baseline. Next, she says she demands Rinpoche to prostrate to her and he complies. This statement is enough to show her desperate attempt to gain validation from you readers by creating false image that even Rinpoche submits himself to her feet. Isn't her tone outright filled with self-adoration and infallibility? How on earth a decent, normal human being would request another person to do prostration to her? Does this ever cross your minds when you are arguing with someone? She has to see herself as omniscient God. Finally, Adele Tomlin says she is being threatened by Rinpoche's side that her nude photos will be exposed. If this sexual abuse were really occurring, wouldn't spreading her nude photos be doing harm to Rinpoche himself? Do you threaten anyone by doing something that will hurt only yourselves? Does this story make any sense? Revenge for unreciprocated obsession by fabricating such twisted lies to paint herself as an infallible god for us to worship? Adele Tomlin's disintegrity is also evidenced by promoting the Karmapa's teachings, while being convinced of the sexual allegations against him. Paradoxically, Adele Tomlin sounds condescendingly jealous of any Westerners who get any chance to serve the Karmapa by questioning their identities, backgrounds, qualifications, insinuating how she fares many-fold better than all of them. In spite of painting him in such a negative light, why does she take pride in compiling, transcribing, and translating the Karmapa's teachings without formal authorization by shamelessly competing with his official websites? The Karmapa has his own office and translation crew. Exactly what role does Adele Tomlin fit in here other than parasitic redundance? hijacking his followers, distorting his teachings, taking donations. What else does she not do but exploit the Karmapa's prominence to take advantage of devotees' receptiveness to authentic Buddha Dharma? Since Adele Tomlin views the Karmapa as guilty in the sexual allegations, which are proven otherwise in the court document by the way, why is she promoting his teachings? What is her message here? That we should still embrace the teachings of anyone we consider corrupt? How can we still become receptive to someone we view negatively? Perhaps this is what she demands of us readers, to embrace her warped views despite finding her disgusting. An imbecile might succumb to such a demand because any healthy functioning mind can never tolerate cognitive dissonance without proper behavioral adjustment. To view a teacher purely positively and learn from him, or to dissociate completely from a corrupt person not worthy of following. Either Adele Tomlin herself never experiences any cognitive dissonance, or she handles cognitive dissonance twistedly different. Does she appear trustworthy to you? Despite claiming to have several alleged academic associations, where is the scholarly spirit of open discussion we can find in Adele Tomlin? I am taken by surprise how a so-called fair-minded scholar would block and delete dissenting views on Facebook so promptly in a matter of minutes, if not seconds. Shouldn't Adele Tomlin keep all comments intact and let readers decide? How would you expect such an insecure narcissist to preserve the integrity of transcription and translation texts? Wouldn't it be just as likely as how she deletes dissenting comments? With her identity highly fixated on external validation via self-proclaimed scholarly associations, no wonder Adele Tomlin's behaviors reflect not the slightest trace of a genuine spiritual practitioner. How is Adele Tomlin contributing to the legacy of selfless Buddhism, while she blatantly sows discord and contempt in posts related to the Dalai Lama, the Karmapa, the Sakya Trizin, Dzongtsar Khyentse Rinpoche, Sangye Nyenpa Rinpoche, Kalu Rinpoche, and so on? Doesn't she actively provoke disharmony and divisiveness among our Sangha, one of the 5 heinous deeds according to Buddha Dharma? Is promoting new translations simply a facade to sneak into Buddhist network circles to incite conflict, dualistic judging and labeling, unrest in the Buddhist community? How is publishing numerous accusations and judging against numerous lineage holders on Adele Tomlin's official website relevant to translation work? Dakini translations and publications sounds misleading. Madam Hearsay. Warped interpretations and publications fits exceptionally well. Becoming a Buddha Dharma Vajrayana translator requires not merely lingual proficiency, but also pure, genuine spiritual cultivation, with samaya mindfully guarded at all times. Why? Without genuine spiritual practice, latent mental, emotional, and psychological conditioning and imprints may insidiously cause a translator to misinterpret, producing unintentional erroneous translation. While samaya acts as a protective shield on the heart and mind bond between a guru and a student, ensuring authentic lineage transmission, preventing misleading translation. Adele Tomlin's flagrant narcissism is sure to disqualify her as a Vajrayana translator. Never have I seen any Buddha Dharma translator act so obnoxiously arrogant, unashamedly ramping up the impression of a holy self even higher, brighter, and wiser than all lineage gurus. What about her samaya? How is Adele Tomlin's samaya kept intact with Sangye Nyenpa Rinpoche all the while trashing him so shamelessly? Is her samaya pure by compiling the teachings of the Karmapa while simultaneously criticizing his cluelessness in social settings, besides believing the sexual accusations thrown at him? Is this how she maintains the samaya of pure perception towards a guru? Most importantly, how would Adele ensure that those who use her texts will not have their samaya broken to a significant degree, obstructing real spiritual progress? Even in the secular world of law, all must be viewed innocent until proven guilty, which is quite similar to pure perception in Vajrayana Buddhist view. Yet Adele Tomlin, claiming to be an ex-lawyer, frequently views all religious figures, if not anyone including you and me, as scandalous and needed to be exposed, even if based on mere hearsays, or worse, on her own fabricated twisted stories. How exactly do her fabricated stories work to benefit us readers magically, other than ruining our faiths in authentic lineage gurus, thus obstructing spiritual progress? Is she not Mara, then who is? Those who blindly click likes and share Adele Tomlin's posts on social media are harming the Buddha Dharma. Why would you want to propagate the work of someone so questionable as Adele Tomlin? Despite claiming the Karmapa as her root guru, Adele Tomlin's actions reflect nothing but outright defiance against his sole wish to benefit beings, leading us to painfully conclude that the Karmapa is merely an instrument for her to gain entry into our communities to further her malicious self-serving agenda. Would anyone who has a root guru or has benefited from Buddha Dharma be that heartless to repay the kindness of all Buddhas by planting seeds of doubts, propagating presumption of guilt, annihilating readers' rights to construct their own meanings, inciting disharmony among the Buddhist Sangha? Root guru isn't someone we keep stating verbally so. Root guru is someone embodied and reflected in our being. Moreover, it is clearly stated on her Facebook page, first female-founded and solo-authored online resource for new translations and research on Buddhism and Vajrayana. She has no guru but herself, the god, remember? Not surprising given how frequently she despises lineage gurus, even past enlightened masters, by criticizing how they should have behaved differently. Are you sure you want to invite such Mara into your life? Sadly, as gullible people engage with her Facebook posts, stories, and texts, they are allowing their minds to be vulnerably poisoned with perverted karmic imprints, unknowingly but surely leading to utter demise. You have two choices: assimilate Adele Tomlin's perversion by following her as your cult idol, or trust your inner wisdom by cutting Adele Tomlin off your following list. Or best, block her beforehand, as she might intrude unexpectedly on your feed somewhere, somehow, like an unyielding pest. You have been warned!